they referred me to a general surgeon who then I contacted and was able to get in almost immediately the next day. And so I got in to see him, and I got on his schedule to remove my gallbladder. And of course, because I was able to maintain the symptoms I was having with diet, it was not considered an emergency. For me, it was considered an emergency. I was not consuming any fat. My milk production had dropped probably by about 50%, and I felt like I could not give my baby the best nutrients that he could have through my breast milk if I was not consuming a little bit of fat. I felt like he stopped gaining weight, he stopped growing. There was a lot of things that I felt were my fault because of this gallbladder issue that I was having. I stopped with the fat and no dairy, and so my milk production decreased exponentially, and there were more things for me that it was somewhat of an emergency. So at that point, they scheduled me for surgery, and it was 2 weeks out, which was fine. It fell on Labor Day weekend, so it was perfect. I had the surgery on a Thursday. My mom and my husband were both off that following Monday, and then my mom and my husband both took off that Friday as well. So I had someone with me Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday to help me recover from my surgery. So it ended up working out perfectly. So it was 2 more weeks of time that passed, again with the same diet, and then I was scheduled for surgery. So they call you the night before at the hospital, and they tell you these are the precautions that you need to take. You need to take out all of your jewelry, which I have a lot of earrings. I wear my necklace all the time, and obviously my rings, and no jewelry. I had to sleep on clean sheets that night. Again, nothing after midnight to eat or drink. I had to wash with antibacterial soap that night and the morning of. I could not use any hair products, nothing on my skin in the morning after I washed my face, everything to prevent any sort of, if there was some, you know, when you go in for surgery, I was going under general anesthesia, so if there was something that could compromise that, I needed to not do that, basically. So at this point, there was a little bit of confusion for me, the doctor's office, and the hospital. So the doctor's office had me scheduled for the doctor's first surgery of the day. So I was supposed to arrive at the hospital at 6, and my surgery was supposed to start at 8. And again, being a exclusively breastfeeding mother, I have a 2-year-old and a 4-month-old at this point, a 3.5-month-old to take care of. And it was very stressful for me. So being the first of the day, I was so incredibly excited. I said, this is perfect. They'll both still be sleeping. I'll come back. It'll only be the middle of the day and everything will be fine. The day before, I got the call for the instructions, and they said someone else is gonna call you on when you need to arrive at the hospital. I then had a call from the hospital that said, you need to be here at 7:30 and your surgery will start at like 9:30, 9:45. And I was frustrated at that point because going in at 6 and being done, going in for surgery at 8 was perfect for me, for my family, and for my own anxiety and my peace of mind that my kids, were going to be okay without me. I don't leave them very often, if you can't tell, and I 100% trust my husband with them, but being the main food source for one of my children, that was concerning for me. He does take a bottle now. He did take a bottle. He was fine. He did not starve. But as a mom, there's a lot of mom guilt that goes along with it. So I called the doctor's office after I got that phone call from the from the hospital. And the doctor's office still told me that my time was 6 and 8. Be there at 6 at the hospital, at 8 o'clock I'd go in for surgery. So there's a lot of prep. You have to go under general anesthesia. They have to run labs and all of that sort of stuff. So I went for the benefit of the doubt and said, if the doctor's there at 8 and I'm not there, we're gonna have an issue. He's not gonna be able to do the surgery. So my mom and I left my house at 5:30 to go and get to the hospital on time, 6 o'clock. We waited there for an hour and a half before they took me back. Now again, I feel like this was a blessing in disguise because laying in bed that morning, I had so much anxiety about going under completely, about the anesthesia, the process, the recovery, the pain, everything. So being in the hospital, even though I was an hour and a half early, which was incredibly frustrating for me, and I will say in the end, I did like my surgeon He was very easy to get into, and his office was very accommodating when it came to payment and insurance acceptance and all of that. But his bedside manner was less than impressive. So we got there at 6. They didn't take me back until 7:30. And I was sitting back there, and of course, I'm still anxious because my kids at this point are awake and they're, going about their day, and I'm not here. And I was worried about the surgery itself. And the doctor comes over to kind of like approve, to be like, are you sure this is still what you want to do? This is what to expect. And, I'll see you in there in like 45 minutes to an hour. And I told the doctor, I said, the only thing that's been less than impressive is your office told me to be here at 6, and I've been here since 6, and they didn't bring me out till, bring me back here to get ready until 7:30. And I have a family that I have to, take care of. And his response to me was, it's better to be early. So I was less than impressed, and at that point, my mom was like, are you ready to do this, or do you want to leave? Like, we can go, we can do whatever. And I said, no, I'm already here. Like, everyone's already taken the time off. I just need to get this done. So they gave me a little bit of something to cut the edge because I did have anxiety. And then they pulled me back into the room, and I'm more of the type of person that I don't want to see anything and I don't want to hear what it is you're going to do, just do it. Which it happened to be the same thing with the C-section. When they were, with my first son, I had a C-section and they were giving me the epidural. I said, just don't even tell me. So I went into the room. I woke up about an hour and a half later. I will say, during the surgery, they pump you with air to lift your organs and everything up because they go in laparoscopically, which means they go through your belly button. So they cut an incision in your belly button. I have an incision right under my breastbone. I have one on my right ribs, and I have one further down into the right side of my stomach. And they go in laparoscopically through the belly button with a camera. So that goes up, and there's a big screen next to you with a big TV. And basically the doctor sees everything through the camera, puts the instruments through the 3 incisions that they have in your stomach, cut your gallbladder out. They create, like, they kind of block off where your gallbladder is supposed to be, and then everything from your stomach, bile and everything doesn't get siphoned through your gallbladder, just goes straight into your liver. And your liver basically takes over the job of your gallbladder. So the pumping of the air into my stomach caused a lot of pain in my shoulders. And when you have gallbladder pain, there's a lot of pain in your shoulders, in your shoulder blades, and all throughout your back. So I woke up, before my eyes were even open, I remember thrashing around. I was in a lot of pain, and they had to give me a medication to calm me down because I was in pain from that air. I didn't really know what to expect. Nobody had really explained, hey, this is how it works. My mom had it done 20 years prior, and my aunt also was about that time as well. So technology changes, the process may change, it's a different location, younger doctor. There's just a lot of factors that cycle, that are kind of a part of how this is done. So I woke up in a lot of pain. I was very drowsy, but I pushed through the anesthesia. I was able to get up, walk into the bathroom. I did have one incision is right where my bra line is. Again, I'm a nursing mother. I always wear a bra. And the bra line was affecting my incision, so I was bleeding. So they did cover me with a little bit of gauze before I left. Pushed my way through, waking up, and went into the bathroom because they want to see that you can get up, get dressed, move around, and we came home. I did pump the rest of the day. I had taken out a decent amount of breast milk for my son, and once it's defrosted, you can't put it back in the freezer. It needs to be used. So we gave him a couple of bottles, and then I breastfed him for the first time that night. Again, general surgeons say 24 hours after any sort of anesthesia. The lactation consultant says differently. And generally, anesthesiologists and general surgeons are going to tell you 24 hours because it's better safe than sorry. But it depends on your metabolism. It depends on the time of day, all of that. So I did continue to nurse my son, and it has been 2.5 weeks since my surgery. I had a 2-week follow-up with the doctor. So basically I had incisions, and they were sewn on the inside, and then they put something called Dermabond, which is like a glue on the outside. The glue falls off on its own. The incisions are probably, my largest is probably about this big, and then I have one that's like a really small circle, and then I have one inside of my belly button that you can't really see. I feel normal. I feel great. I'm still losing weight. I'm not consuming fat. I do notice that when I eat fat, it does affect my stomach a little bit. Sorry, just checking on my babies. They're napping. That's why I'm looking over here. Their monitor's here. So I feel normal. I feel great. I'm not struggling so much with my milk production, but I am still limiting what I'm consuming of fat because, like I said, it kind of boosted my my weight loss from my postpartum, from having, you know, 2 children back to back. And for me, I just feel better. I feel better mentally. I feel better when I wake up in the morning. I do consume sugar. I have gone back to, you know, drinking more than 1 cup of coffee a day. I do still drink a lot of water, but I drink, you know, a lot of water, and I eat a lot of salads or lean meat like shrimp or chicken. And that's basically it. So that was my, you know, experience with having a gallbladder removal. I feel great, you know, after the fact. I think that going through it was difficult. With my family, everyone could eat whatever they wanted to. And for me, I really was living off of a chicken breast or like a chicken cutlet, but not breaded, just like a very, you know, flat piece of chicken. I would either have spinach or sometimes green beans, or a salad, and I would have a sweet potato or brown rice. So there's a lot of things that you have to cut out of your diet. I think that me eating that every day, twice a day, and then I was also having, and I'm still having, a protein shake in the morning every day. I do put a banana in it, but it is an organic protein shake that is plant-based. It's not whey protein. So it is vegan, and it doesn't have, you know, a bunch of crap in it or any sort of fat or sugar, no added sugar. So I'm not vegan, I'm not vegetarian. Obviously, I just said that I eat meat, but this was the best option for me to have a meal replacement, still have my calories, consume enough protein to be able to breastfeed while I was going through this, and then also have something different than just having, you know, chicken or shrimp or a spinach or, you know, green beans or anything like that. So that was basically my diet. And like I said, I've dropped 15 pounds and I feel great. So now that I've been released, it's time to start working out and get back, you know, to being healthy and being the best mom that I can for my kids. But I'm hoping that, you know, my story and my experience can ease your mind if you are a mother or a woman or man, regardless, that's experiencing some of the same things that I had, some of the same pains that I had. And, you know, I realized when I was going through this, I would search on YouTube, trying to look for some sort of answers on what to expect in someone's experience, and I really felt like I couldn't find that. So I wanted to share kind of my journey, my experience, and the process of how I had my gallbladder removed. So again, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Please make sure to subscribe, hit that notification bell so that you're notified every time I upload, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye.